Hello everyone, Joel here. Today we are diving deep into the glorious dopamine-fueled world of RNG, where sleeping is completely optional and seeing that legendary beam of light shoot straight into your soul. That's right, we are talking about the ultimate time consumers, the best loot-based RPGs that will keep you grinding until your mouse clicks echo in your dreams.
Let's get moving. I don't want to jinx it any further.
Let's kick things off by launching straight into the cosmos with Everspace 2. Now, if you think loot RPGs are strictly meant for wizards wearing fancy bathrobes, this game will completely rewire your brain. Imagine taking the addictive loot loop of Diablo and shoving it into a spectacularly gorgeous arcade-style spaceship shooter. You are flying around, dogfighting in breathtaking nebulae, and constantly hunting for that next shiny shield generator or high-powered laser cannon to perfect your loadout. The flight mechanics feel incredibly crisp and snappy, making every single space battle feel like a fast-paced action movie. Plus, with the developers constantly rolling out great optimization patches and small
corpses over there.
Next up, we have Astlibra Revision, which is easily one of the most wonderfully unhinged side-scrolling action RPGs you will ever touch. Do not let the quirky anime aesthetic fool you. This masterpiece was solo developed over 14 long years, and it absolutely commands your respect. The combat is wildly fast and satisfyingly chaotic, throwing screen-clearing combos at you while you frantically juggle a massive grid-based upgrade system. You are constantly grinding for rare materials to forge better gear, unlocking passive skills that fundamentally reshape your playstyle. It's got that old-school JRPG heart mixed with an aggressive, modern loot progression that hits like a truck. If you love discovering bizarre secrets and watching damage numbers fill your screen like a broken calculator, you need this. Alright, let's take a nostalgic trip back in time to the beautiful jank of Sacred 2. This open-world classic is the epitome of European ARPG charm, featuring an overland map so ridiculously massive it puts some modern games to shame. Where else can you play as a cybernetic temple guardian or a literal seraphim, while blindly hunting for a specific set of armor pieces? The combat mechanics feel delightfully distinct because of how it handles combat arts instead of traditional mana bars, forcing you to think about cooldown management. And honestly, the absolute peak of gaming history is doing a goofy side quest just to unlock a concert by the actual metal band Blind Guardian. It's slightly clunky today, but the endless loot variety keeps the addiction alive.
I was there. Oh, I've been busy. I got Harton on our side. We're forming an army.
Moving right along, let's talk about the absolute sweet spot of the entire genre, Last Epoch. If you feel like Diablo is a bit too simple, but Path of Exile requires an actual university degree to understand, this is your holy grail. Every single skill in your library has its own fully fledged, dedicated talent tree, allowing you to turn a basic skeleton summon into a flaming exploding bomb squad. The crafting system is widely celebrated as one of the best ever made, letting you deterministically forge your dream gear without praying exclusively to the cruel RNG gods. Following its massive 1.0 launch and the subsequent cycle updates that brought incredible endgame revamps, the developers have proven they truly understand the genre. Now let's check out something that completely flips the script on traditional isometric combat. No rest for the wicked. Developed by the brilliant minds behind the Ori series, this game throws out the brainless hack-and-slash formula and replaces it with deliberate, heavy, Souls-like combat. Every single swing of your sword carries immense weight, and a mistimed dodge means a swift trip back to the checkpoint. But the magic happens when you pair that tense, tactical gameplay with a deeply satisfying random loot system. Finding a legendary weapon completely alters your approach to survival. Since entering early access, Moon Studios has been aggressively dropping huge performance overhauls and multiplayer balance updates that make grinding through this grim fantasy world feel spectacularly visceral. Before we continue the video, I want to inform you that right now, there are tons of crazy deals in instant gaming, especially if you love RPG games. Remember how expensive modern gaming lately? Well, not anymore, since you can get so many amazing titles with crazy discounts in instant gaming. Can you believe that just with $10 or even less than $5, you can enjoy one of the best gaming experiences in your life? Just look at these titles. It used to cost like $30 or even more than $40. And to make things even crazier, some games even drop so far to just $1. If you're a smart guy, you know what you have to do. All you have to do is just click my link in the description below, start searching for your favorite games, and use the activation code on your chosen platform. By using my link, you're not only saving tons of money, but also helping me to support this channel. Alright then, let's get back into the list. If you want something a bit more vibrant but deceptively deep, Torchlight 2 is an absolute timeless gem. Created by some of the legendary minds behind Diablo 2, this game perfectly captures that classic fast-paced click-fest energy. The cartoonish art style hides a brutal rewarding grind where you sprint through randomized dungeons alongside your trusty pet, who can literally run back to town to sell your trash gear for you. Talk about the ultimate quality of life feature. The skill progression is straightforward but incredibly fun, making multiplayer sessions with friends an absolute blast as you create chaotic synergies. Thanks to a fiercely dedicated modding community that keeps adding custom classes and endless endgame maps, this classic refuses to grow old.
Year? What year?
What?
Is this your pod? Where were the uplink notes?
Let's pivot over to a gritty, third-person sci-fi shooter that deserves way more love, Outriders. This game takes the traditional cover shooter mechanic, violently throws it out the window, and tells you that hyper-aggression is the only way to heal. You play as a super-powered mutant, turning alien insurgents into red mist using a beautiful blend of gunplay and devastating cosmic abilities. The loop is all about hunting for armor pieces that rolled with specific mods, allowing you to fundamentally rewrite how your powers function. Want your bullets to cause volcanic explosions every time you reload? Go for it. While it had a rocky launch way back when, the World Slayer expansion and subsequent balance patches turned it into a fantastic self-contained high-octane grind.
Over, Shira.
Let's dust off an absolute legendary franchise and talk about the Dungeon Siege series. Back in the day, the original games revolutionized the ARPG space by eliminating loading screens entirely as you traversed a continuous, seamless world. Instead of picking a rigid class at the character creator, your hero simply levels up whatever playstyle they actually use. If you swing a massive sword, your melee strength grows. If you shoot fireballs, your magic intensifies. It's the ultimate form of organic progression. Managing a whole squad of companions and a literal pack mule dedicated solely to carrying your mountains of extra loot feels uniquely satisfying. It's an old-school marathon that paved the way for modern party looters.
The commanders of the Legion did conspire to
Magic!
Alright, brace yourselves for a hidden gem that is so absurdly deep it will swallow your life whole. Troubleshooter Abandoned Children. Imagine taking the tactical, grid-based, turn-based combat of XCOM, giving it a vibrant anime skin, and injecting it with millions of loot possibilities. The sheer depth here is breathtaking. You aren't just farming for simple stat sticks, you're hunting for masteries. There are over 800 unique masteries that you can slot into your characters, and combining specific ones unlocks hidden, incredibly powerful synergy bonuses. The mechanical complexity feels like an intricate puzzle that rewards your big brain theories. It's an absolute masterpiece of indie development that gives you an endless checklist of things to optimize.
이제 아프지 말아요.
Next, we are diving straight into the beautifully grim and unforgiving world of Grim Dawn. Built on an upgraded version of the Titan Quest engine, this dark fantasy ARPG allows you to smash two distinct classes together to form a unique dual-class hybrid. Want to be a stealthy Nightblade who also summons occult pets? You can do exactly that. The world feels incredibly hostile, and the loot system is wonderfully complex, featuring a massive constellation-based devotion tree to micromanage. And guess what? The game is having a massive resurgence right now because the highly anticipated Fangs of Asterkarn expansion is dropping this July, bringing a massive new snowy region and a shape-shifting berserker class. Speaking of mythological roots, we have to talk about the legendary Titan Quest series. This franchise traded dark Gothic cathedrals for the sunny, gorgeous vistas of ancient Greece, Egypt, and Asia, allowing you to literally beat up mythological beasts for their shinies. The dual mastery system gives you incredible flexibility, and seeing a mythological boss explode into a fountain of colorful rare loot never gets old. But here is the most exciting part. Titan Quest 2 is currently making huge waves in its early access phase. Built on Unreal Engine 5, it brings stunning modern visuals, tactical combat, and the return of Nemesis, the goddess of retribution. It's the perfect time to experience the classic before diving into the brand new sequel. Let's crank up the difficulty dial to the absolute maximum with the Nioh series. Team Ninja basically looked at the punishing stamina-based combat of Dark Souls, mixed it with historical Japanese folklore, and then said, what if every single enemy dropped 10 pieces of randomized armor? The result is a mechanical masterpiece. The combat is lightning fast, utilizing 3 distinct weapon stances and a key pulse mechanic that rewards flawless rhythm. You will spend countless hours in the endgame farming for specific item sets, forging perfect stats, and optimizing combinations to melt terrifying yokai bosses in seconds. It's an incredibly demanding, highly rewarding grind that perfectly marries skill-based action with deep, satisfying numbers go up progression.
I let the gods pet Hermes.
Is Calder talking to the council?
Of course, we cannot talk about loot without bowing down to the pioneer of the looter-shooter genre, the Borderlands series. This franchise famously promised bazillions of guns, and it absolutely delivered on that chaotic threat. You are running around stylized, cel-shaded planets, listening to unhinged psycho scream, and hunting for weapons that shoot bouncing buzzsaws or track enemies automatically. The core gunplay mechanics feel delightfully punchy across the entire franchise. And let's not forget that Borderlands 4 launched not too long ago, introducing a brand new mysterious planet, 4 incredible vault hunters, and a more grounded situational style of humor. The performance can be a bit messy though, so if you want smoother experience, just stick with the older games. Next up is the undisputed granddaddy that put the entire isometric loot genre on the map, the Diablo series. From the dark, tense corridors of Tristram to the massive live service open world of Diablo 4, this franchise defines the thrill of the hunt. The combat mechanics always feel incredibly smooth, fluid, and wonderfully visceral as you pulverize thousands of demons across Sanctuary. Whether you are running classic wall runs or grinding the latest seasonal endgame pits, the hunt for that perfect ancestral unique item is a feeling that never fades. With Blizzard constantly revamping the itemization systems and dropping massive expansions like Vessel of Hatred, the loop remains incredibly addictive for veterans and newcomers alike. Finally, we have reached the apex mountain of complexity and depth, the Path of Exile series. This is the game for the truly hardcore grind enthusiasts. Its passive skill tree looks like a map of the entire universe, and the economy revolves completely around actual crafting currency rather than gold. The endgame Atlas mapping system is so deep it could honestly be its own separate game. And the hype has reached an absolute fever pitch because Path of Exile 2 is currently tearing through its final early access updates, bringing a revolutionary new skill gem system and brutal tactical boss fights ahead of its highly anticipated full 1.0 release.
Lost.